Game developers are apparently allergic to beautiful women because they continue to make them uglier and uglier in their games. And in this case, with the Star Wars Outlaws game, female protagonist, nothing wrong with that. I love me a good female protagonist in a video game or movie or anime or what have you. But in this case, of course, they had to make her uglier than her actual model and just all around make her more androgynous looking, which I've made a bunch of videos about this, and especially the trans gays agenda, which I believe now they want to push back and act like, oh, the male gaze is so bad, oh, this, that, and the other. Well, they are appeasing the trans gaze by trying to blur the lines between male and female. We're seeing this with female characters across the board, and I even made a video talking about how they're feminizing male characters as well, though just not as apparent as what they're doing with female characters. So before I really dive into this article and stuff, I want to share, I actually made an attempt to try to fix her. I was going for more tweaks than a complete transformation. Now, if I could have changed the outfits in the app I was using, I would have done that as well, because I think that is one of the also egregious things that they've done with this character design was her outfit. First of all, that this color of blue, it just doesn't match her color palette in general. She's a very warm color palette, so this cool blue doesn't work. So surprising that even from an artistic standpoint that was a decision made here. But obviously we have the very boyish looking body type. Her waist is just very straight, hips very straight. I mean, there's some supermodels who still can make that work, but this is not the case here of what they're going for. And again, when it comes to video game characters, as I've said over and over, we like our video game characters to be idealistic. This goes for male and female characters alike, not just female. And in this case, yeah, looks like her nose is broken, her nostrils extremely flared out. I tried to fix that. I made her nose bridge a little longer. I couldn't quite straighten the broken nose, but I did my best. I just wanted to make her look more interesting. Like a short haircut can still work. I look at Rain from Blood Rain, for example, and many, many others. Joanna Dark. Also, she has a very short pixie cut, but she still is very feminine, very beautiful. So in this case, it's just all of the components put together that really make this not so good. So what I did here, I made her hair longer. I just thought it would look better in this situation because this is just not only is it shorter hair, but it's not even a feminine cut, and it's not doing her any favors. So I tried to fix it. I also wanted to fix her coloring a little bit, because this is just very muddy looking. That hair, the muddy looking hair color is with all of the brown eye, that color of brown eyes, the skin, everything. There is nothing when it comes to character design, you want something to pop. And so in this case, I thought, okay, let's add some more red to her hair. Let's give her green eyes. I gave her a little makeup, freckles more pronounced, and I wanted her to be more eye-catching as a main character should be. I also made her waist cinched in a little more, made her hips a little wider. I wanted especially with the outfit, it's really tough to do with this outfit, but she doesn't have to look like a bimbo. She doesn't have to look like a corn star, as people try to imply that those of us who want female characters to look beautiful, they always act like, oh, you watch too much corn, you have Coomer brain. I do not watch corn. I am against it. I think that it rots people's brains. But I do think that characters should look appealing from an artistic standpoint, also because if I'm going to be playing a video game, I don't play video games with ugly characters. I just don't. There might be some extremely rare exceptions, but as a whole, I just don't like ugly art styles. Same with anime. There are some great anime that people adore that I just don't watch because I think the art style is ugly, and I just don't like ugly art styles. So in this case, I made an attempt. I think that there's a lot more that could be done to improve this situation, but I did make an attempt. I also shortened her chin a bit because that is excessive. What's going on here? I think it's the combination of things that make it worse, because she does have the strong cheekbones, even stronger jaw that sticks out farther than her cheekbones, and a long chin. It's like, if you want to give her some of these strong features, pick one or two, but to go with three: strong big nose, strong big cheekbones, strong big jaw, strong long chin, I think it's a lot. Now, I'm someone who has strong cheekbones and even a kind of a strong jaw as well, not as much, but it's like, dude, I'm really grateful that I don't have the really strong chin to go with it, because that definitely would be, it does give a more masculine appearance. Again, and also, what does my appearance even have to do with any of this? This is something else that every time I get pushback about what I think about video game characters and how I think video game characters should be prettier and all that, people want to push back and be like, well, especially when I talk about Lara Croft, because I'm like, hey, classic Lara needs to look like classic Lara. And the pushback is, well, you're not as curvy as classic Lara. You look more like reboot Lara. And it's like, okay, fair enough. What does my appearance have to do with it? I want Lara Croft to look like Lara Croft, not like me. So yeah. Anyway, and then the Critical Drinker posted this, and I just had, I mean, dude, 20,000 likes on it. He goes, man, I just can't unsee it now. This is an unaltered, unedited. I mean, the chin. Is the chin and the lips? Honestly, almost everything. Her eyes are just farther apart. She has stronger jaw and cheekbones than this dude puppet. So the fact that this is even memeable and that this looks and resembles even close is kind of hilarious. So they're also getting more pushback for other things. Let's look at the model too. This is the model. She is beautiful. And one of the biggest pushbacks every time we talk about a character looking ugly, a female character looking masculine, for example, is they want to push back and be like, oh, how dare you? That's so mean. She was modeled after a real model. You're being so mean. As we've seen time and time again, the models always look so much more beautiful than the characters that they purposefully ugly them up, right? In this case with Cal Kestis, he looks just like him. So you can't argue against, oh, well, they used a real model. For what? Why did they waste their money using a real model when they're just going to make her look so much different and uglier? So you could have just used some rando that was at the office if you needed somebody for mocap, if you're going to completely change the appearance anyway, you know? And there was another giant thread about some game developer, and I didn't pull that up because that's a whole other issue and a whole other discussion. And he was going on about, oh, it's technical limitations. You know, you can't do you can't do a good 1-for-1 scan. Well, in this case with Cal Kestis, with a game that came out years ago, they did just that. And other companies are doing just that. Look at what Capcom does with Resident Evil and with Devil May Cry 5. They use scans and the characters look great. So this ugly character is, hey, maybe it is a skill issue, but I'm more inclined to believe that it is what we are continuing to see over and over again, and that is the uglification of female characters as a deliberate thing, and the appealing to the trans gaze, right? So she's clearly a lot more beautiful. And also, it's their pricing right now too. Ubisoft being Ubisoft, there's these pricing editions, $129 for an ultimate edition. What about this game warrants a $129 price tag? I mean, the standard edition being $69.99, a $70 game, that's already expensive for a video game. But what kind of a digital art book, okay? You know, used to a lot of this stuff was bundled free in games. You could unlock the concept art as you progressed in the game and so on and so forth. 3 days early access, all right? So season pass, which I don't know what all is going to be in the season pass, but when I'm seeing all this stuff, none of this feels like it would be worth $129.99. That is very excessive. I get sick of seeing these pricing models. If you look at something like Stellar Blade, for example, and not only do we have a beautiful female character and all of the characters that look good and have a good art style and an appealing art style, but the game itself, it will have different outfits that you can get without having to pay for them. No microtransactions. You got a new game plus and so on and so forth that you get with the base game. You know how games used to be. I am all about that. So anyway, there you have it for this video. I know this has been a huge topic of discussion like last week, and I'm a bit late with coming up with it on this video, but I have been very, very busy. I am just getting my IRL stuff in order so that I can prep for my live show coming up at Go Boom Live, which I'll be doing once a week, and then I want to do like a gaming stream once a week as well. So, and then I'm doing podcast stuff with the quartering, as I've told you guys before. So it's just a lot of IRL errands and things like that that I've been, taxes, a giant pain. But that's done. Car registration, all the normal IRL stuff that I have been putting off that I'm finally getting done now so that I can really stay on schedule, because you guys know being on schedule is not my strong point. So anyway, thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I will catch you next time, and in the meantime, go boom. Miles Morales.